Good morning. My name's Alexios, Raptor Freak. It's Thursday. And the Raptors beat the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks last night in a very interesting game. There was a playoff intensity to this game last night. This was very interesting game last night. The Raptors really showed some character and some poise and some maturity for a team that's supposedly in development, supposedly a down year, learning all over again. They showed some real poise coming back from double digits on the road against the defending NBA champions. Yes, we know Giannis wasn't there and the coach Bud wasn't there and a couple different things like that. But still, this is impressive because, first of all, we beat Milwaukee here in Toronto with a similar kind of situation already, with our team being a little bit less of what we're supposed to be and their team being a little less is supposed to be. And we beat them then. And then this time we beat them again also. And they wanted to win this one. Oh, yeah, they did. They had the feeling that they could win this game no matter what without even having Giannis, just because they had Middleton and a couple of their more important regulars. But it didn't matter. Like, honestly, it's very interesting how we did this last night. Like, how we came back and how we held our poise at the end of the game with all the fouling and all this. Bobby Portis is a goon, and he was getting in Pascal's face, trying to intimidate him, trying to get our guys a little uncomfortable. And you know what? They didn't let it shake them. They played exactly right. They played with poise and smarts, and they closed this game out. They got the right amount of a lead, considering that the refs were there and it's on the road and there's a visiting crowd. I mean, a opposing team's crowd there cheering that team on. They did all the right things. I'm so proud of this team because, honestly, for most of the game, I was like, well, they're going to probably lose this one. But they really showed something in the second half. And this was what I was kind of talking about the other day, is that they can turn on this defense. The first half, they let them score 77 points. Oh, my God. That's the most points they've allowed any other team get on them in a half this whole season. And, we've had some bad teams, like that Cleveland game when we played 4 G League guys with 4 of our bench guys. We didn't allow 77 points in the half in that game. So it's a real testament to the Raptors that they can allow the most points in a half and still win that game that they played in. Yeah, they let Milwaukee score 77 points on them in the first half, and they still won the game, guys. That is fucking amazing. Like, honestly, the fact that they held the Bucks to, I think it was 11 points and in this third quarter, which is super impressive. 11 points in the third quarter and then 23 in the fourth. That's what? 34 points in the second half altogether, where they let them score 42 and 35 in the first 2 quarters of the game. And they clamped it down. They said, nope, no more scoring for y'all. And it was a beautiful thing to see. And that's what I'm talking about with this positionless team with so much length, so many versatile, quick, long defenders. There's going to be times where we can just do this, where we can just completely stymie and stop them from doing anything. Oh, my gosh. Good morning, Monique. So happy to see the community champion, the Raptors fans, Miss Monique Lawrence, super fan of the Raptors. You guys have probably seen Monique in Raptor stuff recently. I'm so proud of you, Monique. You're getting to the next level, and I'm cheering you on every step of the way. You're getting in there, and you're getting more involved, and I love seeing it, Monique. Your content and everything that's been coming out lately has been fantastic. I'm so glad you're here again this morning, guys. So, yeah, last night was fantastic. It was really like they didn't get their heads down. They kept fighting. Like a lesser team would have just rolled over and let the defending champions just beat them like that. And they didn't. No. Nick Nurse at halftime said, these are what you guys got to do this better. You guys are not playing as active on defense as you need to. You're not running out and getting the shooters. And they did, really. They were shooting so well for three-pointer in the first half. They were shooting like 60% for 3, but we were too. That's the crazy thing. We were hanging with them. So it was kind of like a tale of 2 halves. Can you hang with the defending champions offense? I know they didn't have Giannis, but still, they scored 77 points the first half, and they weren't killing us. They weren't absolutely like defeating us like by a huge margin. We were right there with them. What was it? It was like 9 points or something like that at the halftime. It wasn't that crazy a lead. So, and then in the second half, we turned on the clamps, and boy, did we really stifled them and stuff. And Bobby Portis was being such such a goon, talking trash, being physical, and the refs were helping them in a lot of ways. They were giving them a lot of good calls, and we weren't getting any calls with their physicality the other way. And we just played through it, and we overcame it, and we beat them. And I love seeing that. I love seeing that. A big part of it was Pascal's leadership, Fred's ball control and controlling the flow of the game, and just all the other physical elements of these different guys on the team. Whether it's Precious, his activity in the second half last night was really key. Scotty was quiet last night, but he had his moments of goodness, different little things that he did in the game last night. He was very similar to the game before, where he was playing like a point guard, kind of like messing around with like getting a lot of stats, but he didn't score a lot. And then OG really opened up his game back again since coming back from COVID protocols. And we saw OG hitting threes and just being more aggressive with his offense. And it really helped in the game last night. Really did, because we had to manufacture a lot of points last night. And once again, our bench didn't really score anything last night. I mean, they got 15 points altogether between them. And that's just crazy that we're getting such bad bench scoring and we're still able to hang with these high octane offenses and keep scoring with them, because that's not easy. We didn't have really a bad, dry, stagnant offensive spell like we had at times earlier this season. There's been times earlier this season where the Raptors can't find the basket any kind of way. And then last night, they're finding the basket consistently all the time against a really high level defense. This defense for Milwaukee's no joke. And we were making them work and we were getting around them, and we were still able to execute pretty successfully for the most part the whole game. And it was really being unselfish with the ball once again, a lot of passing between each other and getting like the open shot. And they were hitting them. Like, I love seeing Gary get the shot and finally hit it at the end of it, whether it's like a little step back or a step to the side, or just Pascal getting in there, or somebody getting something going at the last second. It's been so awesome. Let's keep going. Masupa Yuka. I love it, man. Welcome. Glad you're here this morning. I hope you come more often. Our defense is elite. Oh my gosh, is it ever? That 11 points in the third quarter? That's insane. Like, I was really kind of like, oh my gosh, are they going to start playing defense at halftime? Because I was like, 77 points is insane. And the fact that they only got to like 110 at the end of the game is fantastic, because they were scoring so much. I mean, they were killing us at three for a long time there. I mean, who was it? It was, not really Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton wasn't really the man for them last night, although he did get 25 points and did get the scoring lead, but he wasn't hitting threes. He only had 1 3. It was really kind of in the beginning of the game. Drew Holiday was absolutely killing us. Wesley Matthews would hit a big 3 here and there. That Nuara guy was really pesky and annoying. And then the Mamaluk guy, I don't know how to say his last name, so I'm just going to call him Mamaluk. He was really annoying too. I developed a little bit more animosity towards certain Bucks players last night, especially Bobby Portis and that Mamaluk guy, and DeMarcus Cousins to an extent. He was really annoying me. And Rodney Hood. What a turncoat Rodney Hood is, coming out there and bombing 2 threes on us all of a sudden after he was on our team last year in the COVID years in Tampa. Rodney Hood looked good in that moment. And I wonder if he did have some motivation to try and do something towards us because he was on our team last year. I don't know. Who knows? All right, let's see. Let's see what Monique's saying now. Pascal continued to silence the critics. Yeah. Yes. And he just looks so smooth, so nice out there. And I was watching the Milwaukee feed at the end of the game, what Marquez Johnson said, the color commentator for the Milwaukee Bucks. He said, this Raptors team is very good. They're going to win a lot of games soon, and they're going to be climbing up the standings. So watch out. That's the Milwaukee commentator saying that at the end of the game last night. And the whole game, they were like pushing, oh, Milwaukee will come back. Milwaukee's going to do this. They're going to win the game in the end. But no, it never happened, guys. I am sorry. Sorry to rain on your Milwaukee parade last night, but the Raptors came to visit you. And you know what? You got the first feeling on the road of the Raptors coming to see you in this new era of the 2022 Raptors. And you know what? You're not going to be the only victim. There's going to be many more. We're going to go on tour. We're going to go from city to city, and this is going to be the same thing. And y'all can have y'all's fans in the crowd because it's so delightful and so rewarding when your crowd is quiet, because we came out and we jumped all over y'all at the beginning of the game. Yeah, that's another sign of eliteness. That's another sign of being a really good team is when both teams get out there and they do the first jump ball and they start the game, both teams are completely fresh and they can get up and down the court and fast. And whoever starts off to the best start and is scoring easy and has like, listen, we had all our players score pretty early. Like all 5 guys keep scoring like really early in the game, which is awesome. And we run out up to a double-digit lead usually in the first 6 minutes of the game. That's a sign of something. We've done that the last 3 games, whether it's New York, San Antonio, or the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks in their own building last night. We came out and we jumped to a big lead. Now, we didn't keep it very well in the game last night. Their three-point shooting was killing us, and we just weren't running out to them and closing out on their shots, and they were just getting way too open. But that was adjusted, and that was fixed in the second half, and it really showed. The fact that Milwaukee went from shooting 66% or something like that in the first half to down to 44% by the end of the game is crazy huge. That means we really, really made them shoot really bad in the second half to get that 66% at that high volume of 77 points all the way down to 44% by the end of the game. That is a huge accomplishment. I'm not lying. All right, let's see. Kenrick, good morning, man. They overhelped in the first half and settled down in the third quarter. Yeah, I think you're right that they kind of stayed put. This has been something that happened earlier in the year where we were too aggressive and we went too far and we'd overshoot and they just make that extra pass. And there was always like one lingering three-pointer shooter that was kind of always away from everybody, and we just couldn't get to the recovery to run at him, and we just barely get there, and he'd already release, and it's a swish. So I think you're right that the overhelp has been a problem for us at times this season, and when they stay more one-on-one, man-to-man, that they're okay. Like, I don't know. It's very weird. When we're switching from man to zone so much, it can get confusing about how that, and that's how the offenses of other teams try to bust it, is to try and get in those cracks and make those kind of things happen. And they did a good job last night. Milwaukee did at that. And we just needed to make an adjustment. And they did a good job. They did a fantastic job. But yeah, Kenrick, good eye. Let's see. Click 2 a.m. Let's go. Click has COVID, but I think you're doing better, which is great. Guys, I have bad news. Stevie Roots has COVID protocols. My buddy, my best friend, he's out with COVID protocols. It hit him in the last day or so, and now he's at home in quarantine and hiding out. So everybody wish Stevie Roots well right now because he's got it right now. It sucks, man. All right, what's Andrew saying about Portis? I don't know if you just wrote the name Portis. That's enough for me. I'll go off on that. Portis, what is this guy's problem? Like, he was really getting mad at the end of the game last night. He looked like he wanted to hit Pascal Siakam. Like, the way that he was pushing him and the refs warned them before they got to restart the play. He was like warning him. He's like, you better stop doing that. I just love how Pascal was ice cold. He didn't let this guy try and shake him because that's what he was trying to do. Bobby Portis was trying to get inside our guys' heads, intimidate them, and make them feel a little scared. Ooh, scared. You know, he's kind of always been a punk. This is a guy who was in Chicago who got in a fight with his teammate and had fought his teammate in the middle of practice. So Bobby Portis, I don't like this guy. I don't like how he's trying to bully Pascal last night. And I'm so glad our guys were like, yeah, you know what? You can't do this to us. We're going to win this game and we're going to beat you anyway. And I love that. And man, but what a punk. What a punk Bobby Portis is. I hope that's what you were trying to say today, Andrew. And I'll just fill it in for you. Click 2 a.m. Fred was so hyped once Gary hit that dagger. The team did very well when Fred was resting. It's really weird because like having Fred not on the court has been a huge weakness and Achilles heel for this team at times. Like that's the time when other teams are like, now we can really get on them because they don't have steady Freddie out there. But now it's kind of like when we have Fred and we don't have Fred, there's strengths in both of them now. And it's really nasty. I love that. It's not even that Scotty's full on the backup point guard anymore. It's Scotty and Pascal. They're like a two-headed 6'9" point guard because they're both sharing the ball alternately and they're kind of bringing the ball up. And it's always keeping defenses guessing how we're going to come at them. This is the nasty thing about this team. I keep saying it. We're that shark under the water. They don't know what angle we're going to attack and bite at that boat at them. That it could come from Gary doing little side steps and stuff like that. It could come from OG bowling his way or shooting a three. It could come from Pascal slicing and dicing and spinning. It could be Fred catching and shooting. It could be Pascal. I mean, it could be Precious muscling and just going to the basket. Man, and Precious hitting that three last night. See, that's just out of the blue. Like, they didn't expect Precious to just bomb a three and hit it like that all of a sudden. That scares the shit out of other teams. Like, Milwaukee's like, whoa, that dude just hit a three. That makes other teams' fan bases like, whoa, this team is really good. And we have space in Milwaukee's head. Oh, yeah, they have never beaten us truly. We were out last year, and because we were out last year and had a down year, they went and got the championship. But that doesn't mean shit. We can still beat them on a regular, consistent basis like we have for years. Every single playoff series we've had with Milwaukee, we won. And you know what? They still haven't got that monkey off their back about the Raptors. They know that the Raptors, in some ways, we own them in some ways when we have to play them in big money games. When big time games happen and we're playing the Milwaukee Bucks, we win. And that's what's going to keep happening. I love it. I love it. We're 2-0 against the defending champs this season. We can keep doing this. We get to play them again in Milwaukee real soon, like within the next 10 days. So let's see if we can repeat this. And maybe this time Giannis will be back so we can get the ultimate test. Because honestly, I didn't want Giannis to sit out yesterday. I wanted to see him against our top guys. I want to see how we can handle him. And it sucked. It was sad that he didn't show up. I was joking yesterday because they didn't give us the real illness that he has. They said a non-COVID related illness. Well, I said he must have had an acute malady of OGitis. He had some Pascal fever. Maybe he had a little bit of Barnes syndrome. And that's why he was sitting out yesterday. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm not a doctor. I have no medical experience, but this is my non-medical opinion of his ailments. He had OGitis. He had Barnes syndrome, and he had just a little case of Pascal fever. Oh, yeah, that's what kept him out. He got up in the morning, and he watched the films with the coach getting ready for the game yesterday, and he started seeing film from our last two games, and he started feeling his leg, and he started feeling his stomach. He started, oh, Coach Bud, I don't feel so good today. I don't know if I can play today, because he saw our film. Yeah, that's probably what happened. Oh, yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let me get more focused on you guys. You guys give me lots of stuff here to look at. All right, Andrew's talking about how Fred climbed the ladder and blocked that shot. Didn't he block DeMarcus Cousins? DeMarcus Cousins is a weird guy. He is so skilled in some ways. He does so well on the court in different ways. He's so versatile. Hitting those threes was nasty. He was scaring me. Like, he was scaring me because I'm like, if DeMarcus is going to do really good tonight, him and Middleton, they could kind of team up and mess us up in this game and win this game. But that was really nasty. When Fred blocked him, or that big reaction, it was fantastic. It's like, no. But listen to this. This is the crazy thing. Because of the trade deadline and the way things are going right now, the Bucks have cut DeMarcus Cousins. They've waived him. They're going to waive him today to help themselves with salary cap issues with the trade deadline and stuff like that. So he's not even on the team anymore. Like, they're going to cut him in the next day. It's crazy because he seems like he really works well with them in some ways. I don't know. It's a weird thing. We don't know all the interactive details of DeMarcus Cousins being on Milwaukee and whether it does actually work or not. But it looked like it worked last night. I mean, this doesn't seem like a good decision from what I'm seeing. And a lot of teams are like, you don't want Cousins? Well, send him on over to us. The Lakers want him real bad again right now. I don't understand that. Y'all have had him a couple times in the last couple of years. And how has it worked out? Okay, so you go ahead and send him back to you. He's like this weird center boomerang for y'all. It comes back. He's not going to – the result's not going to be any different this time. He's just older, guys. Come on, Laker Nation. Get it together. All right, let's keep going. Kenrick says the refs started getting funny in the fourth quarter. You noticed that too. I did too. Yeah, they did get a little funny. A lot of not calls for us and a lot of calls helping them get the free throw line and different weird stuff. Like the challenges last night were very weird. Like that one challenge where it was still the foul and Pascal got to go to the line, but there's some dumb foul because of the incidental contact of his elbow going into the man's face. Look, he's going to the basket. He's trying to get the basket. Y'all are hitting him like crazy. Of course, he's going to use every move that's legal for him to use. And when he put that elbow up, he didn't know that your face was there. So you know what? That to me was not a foul. That was just okay. The coaches challenged by Milwaukee. They go look at it. They want to give Milwaukee something and say, "Oh yeah, he did hit him in the face with an elbow, so we'll give him a technical free throw." There's no rhyme or reason to what the refs do anymore. Like, I don't understand. It's like they're interpreting the law, like they're lawyers. Like, we can interpret this law and this is the rule. There's no cut and dry rules anymore in the NBA. Y'all need to clean up y'all's rule book and get it on the right page. And you need to change some of your rules. Like some of the stuff that have to do with jump balls, that needs to change. And the stuff about stopping teams in transition, that needs to change. Steve Kerr talked about it recently this week, and that's exactly right. The way people are fouling people when they get on the break, it's ruining the excitement of the NBA game. Because fast break basketball has always been a huge part of the excitement in basketball. And we don't have that anymore because we have these cheap ass fouls getting fouled in transition before it even starts. And that sucks. So NBA, you need to fix that for next year. You need to look at where you're messing up with some of the rules and get it more clear and concise and consistent. That's all we're asking for. Fred VanVleet wants you to be consistent. If you're going to call this for them at one end of the court, you better call it for us at the other end. That's what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, this has always been the case. This has always been the case. Just be consistent, refs. Please, please. Andrew, we can beat the Bucks in a 3rd versus 6th seed playoff matchup. Dude, we're not going to be 6, man. Don't kid yourself, Andrew. We're rising to the top. We're going to be in the top 4. We're going to be in the top 4 of the Eastern Conference before the end of this year. We will be a home court advantage playoff team by the end of this year. I totally believe this because, listen, we're going to start rolling. We really are going to start rolling. Who's next? Utah. Utah's coming to Toronto on Friday night. This is a top Western team. Let's take this test. Now, Joe Ingles went on COVID protocols yesterday. He's annoying. I'm kind of glad about this, that we're not going to have to see Joe Ingles. And I think Rudy Gobert's been hurt or out for a little bit now, too. So it'll be interesting to see which Utah team comes. They're going to be quality no matter what, and it's going to be a good test. But once again, these are the teams we want to get up for and make statements about. These are the games. If we win these games, like we won last night, we beat Utah on Friday, we will get Fred to the All-Star game. Oh, yeah, but we got to win these games. We got to kick these playoff teams' butts and show them that we belong and maybe we're even better. Oh, yeah. All right, Kenny, good morning, man. Let's go, Kenny. Yes, gritty win. Gritty. This is the thing. This is not a young team in development. No, young teams like this do not win this game. Orlando does not win this game. Detroit does not win this game. We came back and we won this game in a very veteran, methodical way. Like, this is something that's carried over from the experiences of Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, accrued experiences in close games and seeing these kind of leads where they have to overcome and how to hold it at the end and keep that W. And that's what they did last night. That is veteran stuff. This is not a young developing team. This has a veteran core that knows how to win games that are tight against quality opponents. And that's what we saw last night. I love this so much. I love it. All right, Graham, good morning, man. Wow, after allowing 77 points in the first half, they held them to just 11 in the third quarter. That's what I'm saying. We have a switch. We turn that on and we really just make the adjustments and we make the concerted effort. We have the personnel, we have the talent, we have the skill, the athleticism to do this. And this is why I'm saying that this is something that we decide when it happens. Like, Milwaukee didn't want this to happen last night, but we decided that, yeah, now we're shutting you down. We let you free run, do whatever you want in the first half. You messed around, you got 77 points. Well, now, shut it down. You are not doing no more, nothing like that. And I'm saying there's a couple different quarters recently. There was the second half of the second quarter against New York. There was a part of the San Antonio game the other night where we did this then too, where we let them score like 4 points over like 7 minutes. We don't let teams score at all, hardly. And I love this. I love this facet of our team, this weapon of our team, this super crazy smothering defense that nobody can score on. And meanwhile, we're able to go against their tough defense, work through it with the flex offense, our different talented guys all around, and somewhere we're going to break through. And that really is a recipe for success. That in games coming up in the near future, we need to see this more often. We need to see how we control the game, how Fred and Pascal control the tempo of the game and the outcome of the game, and they steer us to the W, because that's what they did last night. They steered us to the W, and they did it at the right time. They jumped on at the right time, and we capitalized on it, and we won. And that, oh my gosh, it's such a seriously, this is a veteran win last night. This is the kind of win that we get when Kyle Lowry's on our team leading us like this. This is like Kyle Lowry leadership kind of win, like that Dallas win where we came back against the 30-point margin in the second half. That kind of stuff. Oh, yeah, I love it. Kenny, facts. Brong on Bucks and postseason. Giannis is scared. Giannis is scared. Like, honestly, I looked at their games to see which games he's been missing, and he mysteriously does not play when he plays us. This has twice happened now. And he was healthy the game before. He played against Detroit the game before this one. He played against the team before us the first time we played him, too. And he only missed one game after that first game. And who knows if he'll show up and play their next game now. There's something real fishy about that. There really is. And it may be that he has had some trauma from playing us, whether it was in 2019 in that Eastern Conference Finals or other times against guys like OG Anunoby. Like, I'm joking about the OG-itis, but I think the OG-itis is a real ailment that Giannis suffers from. Oh, yeah. And he might want to consult his doctor. Oh, yeah. OG-itis can be a very serious thing. It afflicts a lot of NBA superstars in the NBA. You can ask LeBron about his battles with OG-itis. Yes. It's a horrible, horrible malady to deal with in the NBA. Yes. OG-itis. Yes. All right. Let's keep going. Monique. DJ Wilson update has me waiting. Yeah, that's interesting. With Svi and Yuta out, we could technically go get DJ right now. The Milwaukee announcers were talking about DJ last night and about his little stint with us and how proud they are and how they hope he gets a spot. But once again, they're not saying, well, we wish we had him on our team anymore. That's fishy to me, because if he's such a great prospect, I'm looking at some of the guys they have on their team right now on Milwaukee. I'm like, DJ Wilson's better than that guy. DJ Wilson's better than that guy, but he's not on their team for some reason, and he's not in their part of their system. So there's something about that in itself that, you know, he was a part of their team, but they let him go, and they haven't brought him back. So I don't know. We'll see. I think that they're just going to stand pat, Mo. I don't think they're going to do anything. I think that they're very happy with this team. And you know, it's the kind of thing is like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This team is not broken right now. With it hopefully complement all the guys there, and the way it is right now is not broken. It's by far is working very, very well, and I love it. I don't want to mess with it. So he may show up by the end of the year. I still think that if we get to expand rosters at some point, or we get to have an extra guy on our team somehow, or Goran leaves and we have an extra roster spot because Goran is out of our hair finally, then maybe, yeah, DJ Wilson's the guy we go and snatch up right away. But I'm not holding my breath on this one. It's just not going to happen like right away. I don't think it will. It's going to have to be something, because I don't think Svi and Yuta being on COVID protocols is enough for us to even call somebody up, because Nick is seeing that we have all these guys already and we're having trouble. Like, we didn't even play Malachi or Delano last night. So it's not like we're hurting for bodies right now. So that's really the main thing that brings hardship guys in, is when we need bodies. You just need bodies to make the 8 so you can play the game. Okay, let's see. Kenrick saying Giannis knows we can show the league how to stop him. He didn't want to be exposed. Yeah, I think there's partly that. I think it's also the kind of thing where Budenholzer and him are kind of like, our strategy is don't let the Raptors have any early looks at him and how they could play him defensively, and make that surprise when we have to actually play him in the playoffs. That then we have to, like, then it's a surprise. Ooh, but you know what? We've already played him so many times. We kind of understand how to play him. It's not like you're hiding anything from us about him. It's not like he's expanded his game in such a huge different kind of way or area that you guys can shock us with some new bag of tricks that Giannis has. We know who he is, so stop hiding him from us. You know, but if you want to keep hiding him from us, go ahead. We'll keep taking the dub. Oh, yeah, baby. We'll keep taking the dub. Andrew, the Raptors won and Celtics choked. Yes, I wanted to talk about this too. I thank you for bringing this up, Andrew. It's a good day to be a Raptors fan. Yes, San Antonio, they went on their back-to-back after losing to us the night before, and they went to Boston, and they handled the Celtics. I love that. I like to think that when they played us, we rubbed off on them. Like, you know, Jakob seeing Pascal and OG and Fred and seeing our energy and stuff like that, well, they were determined. They wanted to win because they lost pretty badly to us. on Tuesday night. And when they went to Boston on Wednesday night, they took some of that out on the Celtics. And I love that. I love that. It's just like the gift that keeps giving. We beat the Spurs, and then they turn around and they go and beat the Celtics. Oh, Raptor fans are smiling today about that. Thank you. Thank you, Jakob and Coach Pop. Good job. Good job. Coach, all right, Raptors super fan Monique. Let's see what you're saying next. What do you think of Fred VanVleet's streak thus far from your standpoint and all the chatter surrounding him? I think it's too bad that he didn't have more of a scoring night last night. He ended up with only like 19 points last night, which is a down night for him, which is kind of crazy to say because that's a great night for most people. But he only got 19 last night. I don't think it'll really affect the whole like the way that he's getting a spotlight and getting a lot of this all-star talk. I think that people will hear the fans talking, they'll see the fans vote. The coaches obviously are going to see this because look, Coach Bud wasn't there last night. It was Coach Ham, but Coach Popovich, the Coach Thibodeau, all these different coaches that have seen us recently are going to start talking about, well, Fred has been phenomenal. We can't do anything about him. And, hopefully the coaches will be smart this year. If we get up into the top 4 of the East sometime in the next month, and the coaches will give us 2 all-stars because we have 2 guys that really deserve it. Now, there's kind of saying that maybe it's because Pascal didn't play as many games or he's missed a lot of games this year. That's stupid. Don't do that because honestly, the quality and the amount that he's played is a lot. And he has enough body of work to say this guy's an all-star. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't really – hopefully, it's not it'll happen the way it's supposed to. It's not a really big important thing in a lot of ways. But yeah, I love what Fred's doing in the streak, and the chatter about him is well earned. Well earned, Mo. I totally believe it. Ken A. I was shocked how Scotty was solid bringing the ball up the court, was strong and controlled. He really is interesting as a rookie. Now, he had a little bit of a down night last night. It was actually a down night for him last night. He only had 6 points. He had the same amount as turnovers as assists last night, which I don't like. He was 8-1 the game before, but he was 4-4 last night. But he did a lot of different active things and different stuff. And obviously, he's a big part of this defense because he played a lot of the second half and was a helpful part of that shutdown defense and the team defense and stuff. When I keep making this comparison of him to Tim Duncan, people are like, whoa, that's the one they don't get. It's easy to see the comparisons to Magic Johnson, obviously, with the no-look passing and the way that he plays as a point guard at that size. And then the Kawhi stuff's easy to see too because he has such a crazy big hands. He's stripping the ball. He's getting his hands and fingers in everywhere. And when he wants to down low, he can be very dominant near the basket, close to the basket with short shots. And that's Kawhi kind of stuff. But the stuff that Tim Duncan stuff I'm talking about is stuff that not the normal NBA fan will see. It has to do with team defense, rebounding, and playing the big pivot down low and holding it down. And that's why I'm saying that he's like Tim Duncan, is because he's playing a team defense like Tim Duncan was, which is dominant. And that's a big part of our 11 points in the third quarter, allowing them only to score 11 points and stuff like that. And on the down low, most people won't notice this, but Scotty's playing Tim Duncan level kind of defense, team defense. It's team defense. It's not necessarily individual defense. It's team defense, playing the right place in relation to where your teammates are and covering all the territory that needs to be covered up and cinched up real tight so the other team can't do nothing. And that's what I'm talking about when I say Tim Duncan in relation to Scotty. And yeah, it's amazing how advanced he is. Like I said it before, he's like a program that you buy at the store to put in your computer, and he's already got all these patches and extras downloaded into the game. It's like you bought a game, but you get like 30 bonus games on top of it already with it. And you don't have to download it in and take the time to develop and put it all in there. It all came packaged, ready to go like it is. And that's what he is. He's got like an extra chip in there that a rookie normally doesn't have. And that's poise, confidence, and skill, and the ability to execute and make it happen at that level, at this big physical level. Because most of the time, rookies are little guys and they get pushed around like that little Primo guy. He's so cute, and I love that guy. I think he's going to be a big part of Canadian basketball future for the Olympic team and stuff like that. It was really cool seeing him. But, that they're usually not as big with the muscles. And when I saw Scotty's body last summer, I was like, this guy's got shoulders like Dwight Howard. This guy's already a big guy. And you know what? He's not even worked out yet, guys. He has an NBA frame body, but he hasn't even put the muscle on yet. Like Pascal, when he came in the league, he was skinny, real thin, and he had to put muscle on and get bigger. And that's part of how he's gotten his strength. Well, Scotty's already strong, and he hasn't even really lifted weights at the level of the NBA yet. So just think about this. Not only is the man getting taller physically because he's still growing, he may be 7 foot soon, just like Kevin Garnett grew in his rookie year to 7 foot, and he may get bigger and stronger, like a stronger person. He's already very strong for where he is right now, but he's not even working out yet, guys. Look at him. He's got baby fat. So just think about it. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be very nasty. Think about if he's got LeBron James muscles and still all the speed and skill that he has, or like he doesn't sacrifice any of his great premium talent, and he just gets bigger and stronger. It's going to be nasty. The whole league's in trouble. The whole league is in trouble, and they can see that. They're worried. Let's keep going. I saw this stat yesterday. Since the Giannis and Middleton era began, Toronto has total record of 28 wins and 13 losses against the Bucks. Yeah, our record against them is really good. Click 2 a.m. That's a great thing to point out. They've never beaten us in the playoffs. We've always owned them in the playoffs. And, in the regular season, we've done really good against them a lot of the times when we play them too. We are in their heads. We had that down year last year. They went and they were able to sneak in and get the championship. It's kind of like when LeBron left the East, we were able to get our championship finally. It's a similar kind of thing. We kind of blocked Milwaukee. And this will be evident in the playoffs. Like if we play them in the playoffs, they're going to get messed up. Especially if we can play that kind of defense we did in the second half. They're not going to be able to do much against us. And I think Andrew's right. Giannis might have PTSD from the Giannis wall. And everybody keeps talking about the Giannis wall. I love it. And there's other players in the league that have this kind of problem with the Raptors, that they have scary memories and nightmares of them. Yeah, they do. Kenny, Barnes syndrome. Yeah, I think he was suffering from just a side of Barnes syndrome, the syndrome of not knowing what it's going to be like to play a really badass rookie that's on the Raptors. Pascal was hit in the ribs, and his reaction was the elbow as a reflex. But Fred and Pascal being elbowed in the head was okay. This is the thing. In the early 2010s, when DeMar and Kyle were trying to bring our team up to respectability, they were getting all these elbows and hits and no calls and anything, and they would whine and complain, and it would take away from the game. And it would cause us more problems because they didn't get down the court and missed a defensive assignment or anything like that. Well, now our team is trained past this, is that we know we're going to get hit. It's not going to be totally fair all the time. And we know that that's not the important thing. The important thing is to stay present in the game and to continue with the flow of the game. If the game keeps going, you got to keep going. If you don't hear the whistle, you can't stop and just whine and complain, because you're going to cause bad things for your team on the other end of the court. And that's a trap. So maybe sometimes they don't get these blatant fouls that would be fouls, and the ref doesn't call them. That the refs don't call them. Sometimes that makes it an even worse thing, because the player just gets out of the game in their head. And our guys aren't like that. They're disciplined. They understand that they got to keep going and that they're not going to get the calls all the time. And I love that. Because that shows a mental toughness, a mental strength, and a determination no matter what, even if things are completely unfair, that we're going to get around it and we're going to still win no matter what. And I love that so much. Yeah, it can be unfair all they want. We understand that it comes with that. A certain degree of unfairness is going to happen in NBA games, and that's not an excuse for us when we lose. We need to overcome that also, as much as we overcome the other team. So, all right, I'm a fun guy. If we beat up Utah tomorrow, Toronto is going to explode. Well, I don't think the city will, because it's locked down. Nobody's doing nothing up here right now. And, maybe we'll all explode in our living rooms individually. Spontaneous combustion. But yeah, it's going to be fun. And once again, it's interesting that the game's here with no fans and stuff like that, but it's still our in-game ops and all this kind of different fun stuff going on around it. It is truly a home field advantage for us, even without the fans in there. It's a weird thing because it does happen. And so let's see. Tom Duke, good morning, man. What is good this morning, man? What is good to you, man? What is good to us? Apart from our Raps, Utah's next. Yes, everything's good in life. Even apart from the Raptors, just look for something today, something small in your life. It could be like the taste of an orange. You just eating an orange and it's like, I love citrus. I love the way an orange tastes. Just find the simple things in life and find the pleasure in that little bit of gratitude and just simple, like saying to yourself, I like oranges. They taste really good. I enjoy them. Just reflecting on that and saying that to yourself, that increases gratitude and happiness in your life just from a small thing like that. So that's what's good. Eating an orange and enjoying it, immensely enjoying it, really enjoying it. Yeah. Good morning, Tom. Good to see you. Monique. Chris Boucher is turning heads now. So amazing. Chris is interesting because his role has really shifted and metamorphosized recently. And it's kind of, in a way, gone down, obviously, from last year and heavy minutes starting, having to be one of our main offensive weapons. And now he's kind of gone into a bench, long center, active rebounder, defender role off the bench. And I love that. That's actually fits him much better than him having to be out of his comfort zone and have to exert so much. I mean, it's nice to know that Chris can go off for 30 points if in the flow of the game or get something going, but it's also better for him in some ways to just be that guy off the bench that's energy, hustle, rebounding, guarding, blocking shots. That shot that he blocked, that three-pointer last night, that was nasty. I love that. Their shot clock was running down. The guy was taking the shot, and Chris was like 7 feet away from him, and he ran up and blocked it. Oh my gosh. It's so deflating to the other team when that kind of stuff happens. And the crowd saw that, and they're just like, same kind of thing. So yes, Chris is turning heads, and I love it. I love it that he's finally getting respect, and it's very interesting once again that I say he keeps posting Dennis Rodman pictures on his Instagram, so that's making me think that he's really taking him on as his spirit legend. That he's like, I'm going to be like Dennis Rodman on the court, and I'm going to play like him. I'm going to rebound like him. I'm going to be aggressive on defense like him. And I think it's showing. It really is. And I love this. Tom Duke is doing the Jack Armstrong. Bonjour. Yeah, I can't do it like him. I can't do Jack's voice because it's so old and crackly and high pitched, and I'm a low voice guy, and I can't do it. I'm sorry. Winning, yeah, all right, I love it. That's why I don't like the trade Fred and Pascal talks. They are very young and experienced vets, very rare. No, there's so much quality and stuff accrued with them because we got to realize where their origins are from. Fred was undrafted, wasn't even supposed to make this league. Pascal was a role player, kind of later draft pick, not really a high draft pick. Like, he's not a lottery pick. He's not a real high draft pick. And these guys have overachieved, overexcelled, and they keep going. Like, this is the thing. They don't have ceilings right now because, in a way, Fred can go and expand even more and more as a leader, become more and more like Kyle in different ways with his game. And Pascal is just really fine-tuning his offense, getting even more skilled and getting more like DeMar in a way. It's kind of crazy how they are kind of like on the paths of Kyle and DeMar in some ways. So this is a thing. You get so much value out of what you built from nothing. And when you trade something that you've built up from nothing, in a way, you lose that value that you've accrued and built up through it. So we could trade these guys and get good stuff for them, but there's nothing like that engine that drove them in the first place. From being an undrafted guy, from being a guy who's just made the NBA to become who they are. That's a drive that is worth so much more, because when you find that in certain players, you keep it. And that's something we see in Justin Champagnie right now. That's the reason why we're going to see Justin Champagnie on the Raptors team in the years to come. Is he is a worker just like those guys are. And you don't want to give up on that, because you give up value when you send players like that away for possibly guys that aren't the same. Like the DeMar for Kawhi trade, them straight up for each other in a way wasn't told. It seems like it wasn't equal. Like, oh, wow, we really got the better player. But in some ways, did we? Because like DeMar may have been a better player in the long run than Kawhi in some ways. And some people may like blow up their heads when I say that. But look at what he's been doing recently with Chicago. So that's the thing. It's deceiving. Sometimes it's a player's heart and drive and what they play for that matters more than their ultimate talent and ability level at the how high it is in that. I'd much rather take a less talented guy that has a spirit and a fight in him to continue to get better and better than go and get a lazy, really super talented guy. You know, so that's the difference. And I'm totally agreeing with you, G. We have accrued interest that's built on top of itself over and over again to increase value from these guys being in our organization the years they've been here. And we don't want to screw that up because they're continuing to grow and get even better at the levels they're at now, which is insane to me. Honestly, it really is. It's amazing. Tom Duke, OG-itis is a real thing. Is it a real thing? Are you a doctor, Tom? OG-itis is a real thing. Like, can I get on WebMD and tell them, I think I suffer from OG-itis? And then they'll call me and they'll say, oh, you've been tied up by a man from UK on an NBA basketball court? Okay, well, our malady is, okay, finish the game and then just ice your knees and hope you don't have to play them again anytime soon. How about that? That's your recovery. Yeah, Cousins was waived. It's crazy. Cousins waived. I thought he played really good. I thought he was one of their better players last night, but they're going to waive him. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. Let's see. Yeah, Boogie's available, but not a good mesh for us. No, I don't think so at all. It's a character thing. It's a character thing. We don't want his character here. And that may be part of the reason why Milwaukee doesn't want him around still. Like, his character is weird. It's a dubious character. Like, I liked him way back when he was New Orleans with Davis. When those two guys were a pair and they were messing people up on the Pelicans, that was a very interesting time for Cousins. But he's really bounced around so much. He hasn't really stayed on any team that his value and the way he is in the league is really weird at this point. But I'm not a big fan of him, and I wouldn't welcome here to Toronto, no. So anybody who starts talking about how we need to get Boogie now because he got waived, no. Let's not do it. Tom's right. He's not a mesh. Yeah, we great minds think alike. The cult of the Raptor Freak, we have a hive mind, and we usually think the same way in a lot of ways because we have the same goals. We have the same goals. It's usually we think the same way. Dang Lambert. Is that a reference to an AEW guy? Dang Lambert. That's hilarious. Give this guy a thumbs up for going live so early. Thanks, Dang. You know what? And this isn't the only day I do this, brother. If you want to see me every day right around 9:30 you can join us, the Cult of the Raptor Freak. With the Raptor Freak, we're going to react and talk to everything that's going on with the Raptors that day. Today is a reaction day to the game last night, the glorious win, the 1,000th franchise regular season win for the Toronto Raptors franchise over the 27 years happened last night. We got 1,000 wins as a franchise last night. On the down low, I don't even know if they talked about that, but that's fantastic. But yeah, I'm here every morning. I hope you'll continue to join us. Dang, your promos on AEW are great. I love them. They're so stupid. Tom Duke, Happy New Year, and for sure like Spike. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, listen, when the team's doing well, I seem to get more traffic, and that's great. So go Raptors. I don't care, though. Honestly, this is just a sanctuary for us positive, good Raptor fans that aren't cynical, don't want to talk down our guys, don't want to talk about trade talk all the time, don't want to talk about how we're kind of on the down low, a bad team, even though we really are a good team, all that kind of stuff. That's not happening here. This is a positive space to build up the Raptors, build up the fans, and build up the whole idea of what we're doing in the NBA. And that's where we are. That's our sanctuary here. All right, let's keep going. Click 2 a.m. Let's see. Wizards lost to the Rockets too. We're 7th in the East now. Yeah, that was really good. I was paying attention to that game and the Charlotte game too, because I wanted to see if we could get a couple of spots, and we did. We got to 7th last night, and that's fantastic. And the Rockets, I didn't expect them to beat the Wizards, honestly, because the Rockets have been kind of this year, and that was really good for us. No, Tom, I'm not even going to read what you just said there. Maybe I'll run for the riding that I'm in, like as an MP or something like that at some point. But no, I don't ever want to be prime minister. No, that's a horrible job, Tom. But thank you, I appreciate it. Let's go, Tom Duke, baby! Woo! We're gonna beat the Utah Jazz on Friday night. I don't care who shows up. Gobert, Joe Ingles, everybody could be on COVID. They could be this way. You know, the weird thing about the Utah Jazz is because of where their team is situated out in the middle of fucking nowhere out west, they have the least amount of COVID cases so far. I think that Joe Ingles might be one of the first people going into COVID protocols for them right now. So what we can expect to see is Utah getting COVID very soon and being all out very soon, and them going through a really bad, tough spot like we just did, because they haven't got it yet. So it's kind of like, is this team pre-COVID or post-COVID getting it this year? Because there's a little bit of that going on this season where you got to see where the team is with getting COVID and whether they got it already or not, like we have. So let's see. Utah hasn't gotten it yet. So by Friday, in theory, they could have a couple more guys added to the list before the game time on Friday night. Now, I'm not saying we don't want to play the best Utah Jazz team that we could play, but this is just the reality of the landscape in the NBA today in the pandemic. So that's a weird thing. And to me, as a demographer, as a epidemiologist, I studied this in grad school. It's very cool and interesting that Utah is the team out in the middle of nowhere that has the least amount of contact with COVID and COVID protocols so far this season. That's just scientific sociology stuff that's inciting to me. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see. Scotty looked tired. Scotty looked tired on offense and had a couple of stupid fouls, but he stayed in the game because of his defense. Yeah, he did look tired. And I think it was the back-to-back, the travel. And this is the thing. This kid, he's played like twice the amount that he's already played at FSU in 1 year in university already this year. Like, they don't play a lot of games in college, and especially during the pandemic and stuff like that. They're spread out and different things like that. He's getting thrown to the fire in a certain way. This is the thing that worries me the most about Scotty is his rookie conditioning, hitting the rookie wall, because he is very high usage. He's getting played a lot. So we may want to consider really limiting his minutes as the season goes on in some ways, just to help him out in that way. And he did look tired. But the one thing I will say for him is he gave an all-out great energy and effort in the second half, and it didn't really matter. You're exactly right. He stayed in the game because of his defense, and his offense just wasn't there in some ways. He had that one little move at the beginning of the game where he did that little half turn and that little shot over the guy that was guarding him. That was beautiful. That was impressive, because that's him reacting in the split second and realizing that he had that all of a sudden and just taking it. And the more we see more stuff like that, that's fantastic. But yeah, it was an off night for him. He was definitely gassed. Good point. Scotty has tendonitis in his knee too. Okay, see, that's something else we got to remember, is that he's having knee issues a little bit too. Nurse is smart for keeping Scotty in at the end despite his mistakes. Needs to get the experience and reps in this type of game. Oh, I completely agree with this, G. The fact that he's on the court experiencing that game moment by moment as it goes, whether it's the comeback, whether it's like building a little bit of a lead in the fourth quarter, then them trying to come back and foul us and going through all that rigmarole back and forth, getting in the line, different things like trying to hold that lead. That's super important experience for him to be going through and understand how we do it and how it is. It's going to really benefit him. And this is part of the reason why I'm so happy he ended up on our team in the draft, because if he'd gone to Orlando, he wouldn't get these kind of experiences or the ability to get in situations where a team can be successful and come back. Because they would happen, but they wouldn't happen the same kind of way. And the fact that we were kind of bad last year, Aaron Baines, COVID, Tampa, and we messed around, we got fourth pick and got a high lottery draft pick, but we're not really a lottery team. We're a playoff team. Is going to really help Scotty's development on a winning team with good teammates, way more than being on a losing team and a team that's still struggling to find out their identity as a team overall. That's the thing that Suggs has to deal with. But Barnes, he's on a team that's established and understands their identity already. This helps him in so many ways, because he can just worry about developing himself inside that already established system. And I love that. And you're exactly right. This is very, very special, important minutes on the court for him to see how it's done and be a part of it and have that feelings of it as it goes through it. Like whether it's them fouling the crap out of us over and over again, Bobby Portis being intimidating and getting in Pascal's face, all that kind of stuff. That's all real important for Scotty to see and be a part of. Dang Lambert. Fred didn't break 20 points because the other team focused on him and doubles really quickly. Yeah, I could see that. They Drew Holiday is a really good player. Like, he was killing us early in the game, and he did play really good defense on Fred for the most part last night. And, this is going to happen. They're going to key on different ones of our guys, but it's kind of like the Pop-A-Mole, the Whack-A-Mole. You hit one mole, you hit Fred's mole down, or you hit Pascal's mole down, but then OG's jumps up or Gary's jumps up. And what are you going to do? You can't hit all the moles all at once. You start putting your hands over the holes and the mallet. That's what you start doing as a little kid. Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of funny. But yeah, it's true. We have so many weapons. They can try and focus and key on Pascal or Fred or whoever they want to choose to. But you know what? Somebody else is going to pop up and mess them up. whether it's Scotty or, it could be even Precious sometimes. It could be Chris Boucher. There's a lot of different weapons on this team. It's crazy. Tom Duke, Portis is still sulking somewhere. Yeah, wasn't he acting like a big baby? Like, honestly, you're the biggest dude out there. Why are you acting like this? Like, he really was hurt by the refs in some ways last night, like where he had to go over there and cuss them for another 10 minutes after he fouled out of the game. I don't know. Like, the technical that happened at Middleton late in the game probably should have happened to Portis. That should have probably been a technical for Portis instead of Middleton. I thought it was a little cheap what they called that on Chris. But yeah, Portis deserved the technical somewhere in there at the end of the game, just from the way he was acting, the way he was trying to be intimidating. He was talking a lot of trash when Pascal was shooting the free throws. There's a lot of ugliness from Portis last night. I lost a lot of respect for him in a lot of ways. Raymond Jacob, good morning, man. Good to see you. Portis Jr. looks like a taller Fresh Prince, Carlton Banks. Now we got a Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reference this morning. I love it. Do the Carlton. I don't know how to do it exactly. I'm gonna make myself look real stupid, but that's a hilarious take right there. I mean, I don't like denigrating people for their appearance or anything, but you're kind of on point with this one. It's kind of like Carlton's like huge brother or cousin. It's like 7 foot tall, like or something like that. He thought he was gonna be a bully. He really did think he was gonna be a bully, honestly, because he wanted to try and get in Pascal's head. He didn't know he was messing with an all-star, an established NBA champion, somebody who's a really like in the game focused kind of guy. He's messed with people like you before, Bobby Portis. You can't do that to him. I'm sorry. No, you can't. He's not going to back down, and he's not going to be more shrinking violet just because you got an angry face on your face and you're like, and he's all over the place. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Let's see what's Mo saying now. With the way Nick Nurse is coaching for the months of December and January, do you see him winning Coach of the Month at all? Wow, that's a great thing to think about. I haven't really thought about that much. I think that he could win it this month if we win every single game this month. Like, so far, we've won every single game in 2022. Let's just keep it going. Let's take them one at a time. And Utah's next. And if Nick Nurse can win every single game this month, he'll be Coach of the Month for January. I would think so, because that's a big turnaround. They like to reward teams like coaches for turnarounds. That's why our coaches get Coach of the Year all the time, because they expect us to be so bad. And they're like, oh, wow, look at what they did. They turned it around. And then Sam Mitchell wins a Coach of the Year. And then Dwayne Casey wins a Coach of the Year. Then Nick Nurse wins a Coach of the Year. That it's really is that kind of way. It's when you show improvement. And we are definitely a tale of two halves of the season right now. The first half, and we're in the next part. And this isn't even half of it. This is more than half of the season still to go. So, yeah, I think that he could get Coach of the Month for January, especially if we start reeling off all kinds of wins. Great point, Superfan Mo. That's a really good point. MK47, I love the way our team reacted when the refs started calling bad calls. Pascal never lost his cool. Yeah, that's really important, whether it's Bobby Portis or these refs. You can't let them mess with you. And I also love how they're on them, too. Like Nick Nurse at one point last night, I thought he was trying to get a technical and get thrown out. Because sometimes coaches will do that to fire their team up if they don't feel like they're putting in the right effort. I thought he was yelling at that ref a little bit too much, and he was going to try and get thrown out to fire up the Raptors to play even better. But he didn't. Thank goodness he didn't get thrown out, because he does lose money if he gets thrown out. But that's the kind of stuff that you do sometimes to really get your team going. And, these refs, they do manipulate the game to an extent, but that's the thing. That's why we have to overcome everything. We know what's on the plate when we step on the court, whether it's the other team or the possible ref manipulation that can happen also. Monique saying, did anyone else see Masai and GQ, or was I the only one? Yeah, that's an interesting article out on Masai Ujiri and GQ magazine right now. I highly recommend everybody go check it out. If anybody was built to be on the cover of GQ right now, it's Masai Ujiri, because he is a boss. He's a boss in a figurative sense and in the whole sense of the word boss. Yeah, and him being on GQ, that just makes sense that he would be on the cover of GQ magazine, because he is all class, baby. Oh yeah, Gentleman's Quarterly. He is a gentleman in every quarter of the year. That's right. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, check it out. It's an interview. There's some good pictures and all that kind of stuff. Tom Duke, the world is recognizing our system and culture. Go Raptors. They should. They have to, because it's consistent. It's consistent. And I don't understand why these people think we have some sort of dysfunction, that we're just going to be like a bottom dwelling team, like other teams that get down there sometimes. No, we don't settle for that. Masai Ujiri is all about winning. They're all about the W. And that's what this team's all about, all the way down to the last guy on the bench. Justin Champagnie, those guys, they're the same way. Everybody has one thing on their mind, and that's winning. And that's different than a lot of other teams. Most teams have guys that are worried about their next contract. They're worried about how they look individually. They're worried about personal life things that are going on in their lives. No, we're dialed in and focused. Every single aspect of our franchise is working in cohesion together towards one big thing. And it's one thing. And that's why I think that people don't understand how we are a championship threat this year, because we have a different kind of goal than most teams. We really want to win this in a way like that is built throughout the whole franchise, the whole organization. It's at every level, whether it's the guys who make the programs, it's the people who make the designs, the people that are in the community affairs. Every single person in this organization is top notch and doing it to the top quality and the best ability. And you can't say that about every team. There's a lot of differences in each NBA team. And our team, I love what we get when we look at it. When we look at the whole scheme of things, we have the best stuff. We have the best GM. We have the best coach. We have some of the best players. We have the best rookie. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. No longer fear the deer, fear the North. I have this old cover photo I use on Facebook whenever we play Milwaukee in the playoffs. It's basically a raptor chewing on Bambi. And it's pretty much how I feel about the relationship with the Raptors and the Bucks, that we chew on them like a dinosaur would on a poor little Bambi deer, just chewing. That's just it. Jurassic Park. Like if it's mascots versus mascots in the real world, Toronto Raptors mascot beats most mascots in the NBA. Now the Sun is a little bit tough to beat. Suns, that's a tough one to beat. And Heat, you can beat the Heat. Yeah, you can beat the Heat. But most things like Wizards, we would eat Wizards. We would eat Lakers, whatever they are. I don't know. I think Lakers are people who live on the lake. I don't know. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, no more fear the deer. It's all about we the North and fear the North. Did you see the Kyle ejection? Refs forgot he wasn't a Raptor for a second. Interesting. I didn't know Kyle got ejected from a game recently. I really do have tunnel vision. I'm only seeing a little bit of highlights and different things from other games, but no, I didn't see that ejection. I'll go and look at it after the live stream. That'll be interesting. Marlon Toby, good morning, man. Good to see you. Nick Nurse did a great interview with JJ Redick YouTube channel about his coaching philosophy in the 2019 championship against Golden State. Yeah, he was talking about Steph Curry and different stuff like that. I didn't actually watch it myself, but I've heard a lot of good things about that interview. A lot of great Raptors content out there, guys. If you just go look for it, there's always new stuff coming out, whether it's Open Gym, whether it's the GQ that Monique was just talking about, interviews with different people. DeMar has a very interesting thing that he just dropped this week also, an interview that he just dropped. So check out DeMar DeRozan stuff too for old Raptors kind of stuff. Raymond Jacob, I think Giannis did Masai dirty by rejecting his Raptor invitation. Masai helped Giannis and his family so much, and still he stayed with the Bucks. I wonder how their relationship is now. Maybe that's part of it too, with why he hasn't shown up in these two games against Toronto this year, is that he feels some sort of respect and sadness or something like what you're saying towards Masai. Maybe a little guilty. So maybe in his way of helping out Masai or being there for Masai is, I just won't play against your team, Masai, and this is how I'm helping you out and getting you back for being so solid towards me and my fam. I just won't play in this game against Toronto. I don't like that, though. But, yeah, that's interesting, and maybe there is some guilt there, but honestly, he shouldn't feel guilty. I'm really glad, actually, in some ways, that Giannis has stayed in Milwaukee, because it sets a tone for players staying with their teams that they get drafted to. Milwaukee's a small market. They could have easily lost him in all kinds of ways. And it's old school. It's like Karl Malone and John Stockton staying in Utah for a very long time. It's that kind of stuff. And to me, if Scotty Barnes could be like Giannis and stick with us and get the Supermax with us when that time comes, I'd love that. Because the NBA is so transitory with players going from team to team these days that I'd like to go old school a little bit and have a few of these really top quality guys like Giannis stick with their team for their whole career. Because it is good for the league in some ways, because these guys are the identity of their teams. And when they get taken out of the team, like Durant in Oklahoma City, you see what happens, the loss and how these franchises languish. So the NBA would be smart if they went back to kind of the old 80s where each team had a pretty good superstar on each team. Somebody that they really could root for that helps get them in some sort of contention somehow. So the NBA could try and get that kind of going again. That'd be good because there are some teams in this league that have no superstars. They have nobody like really like star-studded that people can be getting around at that city. So let's see. Monique saying, "Hey, Alexi, you seem surprised about the reschedule. You seem happy." Yeah, I am happy about it, Mo. And it's basically because it was going to happen anyway. I think that the pain of what's happening with it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy, but there's no use in whining and crying about having more back-to-backs or having to do 4 games out of 5 nights a couple times and stuff like that. That's just the reality of the pandemic and postpone games and getting to reschedule them later. I love the gauntlet, the test for this team because we're in such a strong position, the way we look and the way we're playing. I want to test this out. It's like you get a really nice sports car. You want to put it on the 401 and open it up and see how fast it can go. So I want to see this team against the best of the best. That's why I wanted Giannis last night and, have the tests. And that's why I like the new schedule is because it has a lot of tests in it. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Like I'm excited about going to see Utah or having Utah here on Friday. Normally Utah would be a game where I'm like really I'm not feeling too good about this game. We're going to play them. It's going to be tough. But now I'm like biting the chomp. I want to be like, yeah, let's get Friday going. Let's get to this game against Utah. Let's show them what we can do as this lineup. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so awesome. Kyle passed the ball gently to the refs. A very normal pass, and he got ejected. Oh, my gosh. He had one of those last year. Didn't he? When he tried to throw the ball to the ref from way across the court and they like threw him out or they gave him a tech or something like that. And the ref thought he was trying to throw it at him or something. It's so stupid, man. These refs are they're humans. They make a lot of dumb mistakes too. And they do a lot of silly stuff too. It's so funny. Let's see. Giannis's younger brother is on the Raptors 905. Yes, G. I was making some dumb jokes. They're not really that funny, but I was saying like, yeah, if Giannis had played and he started killing us, we could like bring out Alex and like he's tied to a chair and we're like, we're going to do something to your brother. No, that's stupid. We wouldn't do that to Alex. Although Alex is an interesting player. He's really not as good as his other 2 brothers. Like he's been kind of at the end of the bench for the 905 this year. And he's really got spot duty here and there. And he's never looked actually really that good at any point playing for the 905, which is too bad because you have an Antetokounmpo on your team. You really want to see them be badass, but he just doesn't have it like Giannis, obviously, or even his other brother that's on the Bucks. So it's too bad. But yeah, it is interesting that he's on our team. Monique, the G League is so messed up. I'm so confused this year. Yeah, everything's out the window. Nick Nurse said it a couple weeks ago that all stats for this season, because there's so much mixing of G League coming into the league and different guys going from team to team and all over the place. Team stats in the NBA are all screwy. The G League stats are all screwy and weird, and everything's just kind of really screwed up this year. So it's kind of like, let's just go by the W stat. Let's go by a couple of the main stats that are important. And then like the team stats with individuals and like team stats overall, like our point differential with other teams is all screwed up. Basically because of that Cleveland game where we lost by like almost 45 points. And that really screwed up a lot of our team stats just in that. And that's not our fault because for that one game, we had a different level of talent than we should have had. And that really screwed up some of our stats. That skewed things in a certain way. So, it's just, stats, throw them out the window this year. It's all about just winning and continue to win. And that's where we're at right now. I love it. Okay, let me just look at the box score real quick, just for a quick once over real quick. Pascal, phenomenal. He didn't get his double-double that he's been getting regularly right now because he only got 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and a block. 4 turnovers, we could do without that, but still 33 points, very efficient offensively. OG woke up last night finally, and he had a big game, 4 of 7 for 3, 6 of 10 from the field. That's fantastic. 6 rebounds from him and 22 points. Really good. Scotty Barnes off night. We said he was gassed, but he played really good defense in the second half. Once again, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 points. That's kind of triple-double, kind of Jason Kidd kind of stuff growing with him. We know that he's going to get triple-doubles eventually. We know they're coming. Fred VanVleet, 7 of 18, 5 for 10 from the field. They were keying on him more, only got 19, but he got 5 assists. and 2 steals. Gary Trent was very good last night, 8 for 17, 3 3-pointers, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 22 points. Yeah, the starters are really good. The bench still needs a lot more production. And part of it is we're playing all of our best offensive players in the starting lineup. We don't have any real like offensive kind of guys coming off the bench like that are that kind of good. It may be smart for us to bring one of those guys off the bench and put Birch or Achua in the starting lineup at some point if we really do feel like we need more scoring. But I think the way that Nick's rotating with the bench and the starters mesh together in different combinations, it really kind of covers up for that in some ways. But it would be nice if they got more points, honestly. Yeah, Pascal really wanted those free throws, though. Yeah, he was missing. I don't like it when he misses free throws. Obviously, we missed a lot of free throws last night, but fortunately, it didn't matter. Yeah, holy crap. We missed 8 free throws last night. That's not good. That's not good as a team. That's 8 points. But thankfully, it didn't matter with the ultimate outcome. It's like I always count the free throws, and I'm like, man, okay, how many free throws are we missing? We lose by this much points. This is part of the problem, stuff like that. And then looking at the other side with their team, they did really shoot. It was really tale of 2 halves. Their offense was rolling. They could get everything they wanted in the first half, and in the second half, that changed. And that's a testament to the Raptors defense, just making an adjustment and being more energetic and getting out there and getting them. Marlon Toby, our guys should utilize the pump fake more often. We put them in foul trouble last night. Yeah, I like that. I think that Precious, a couple of guys do it naturally a lot already. But yeah, I think you're right. That's just something that could help. I know that sometimes, Pascal will do kind of an up and up and he'll get hit and then he'll make a loud noise and the ball will go flying and then the referee won't do nothing and that kind of stuff. But, that once again, I'd much rather them get to the basket, make the basket than rely on getting fouled because it's just not going to happen. We know that they'll swallow the whistles on us sometimes, and it's just how it is. Okay, guys, we're just over an hour. I really appreciate everybody being here with us this morning. Raptor Freak Cult Unite. I'm telling you, I'm going to try and make hoodies some point this year with a nice decal that says the Cult of the Raptor Freak. And we'll get this worldwide, send them all out to everybody who wants to get them. And thank you for coming again. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm here every morning around 9:30 Eastern a.m. To do Raptors talk, whether it's reacting or previewing the game or even just trivia, sometimes just dumb stuff. Raptors content every day. Even if there's no game, I'll be here. All right, guys. Andrew, let's go Raptors. Utah tomorrow, baby. Let's get ready for that one. It's going to be so much fun. I love these tests. I love this team. I love this community. Thank you for being here, y'all. Y'all are the best.